Hello everybody, welcome to my new weekly review. So today I will go over the three trades I took, which gave me a 0.7% end result of that week. So last week was a positive week for me. In the last weeks, I had negative weeks, so this week was a good week to say. So I will go over the first trade USDCAD. If I go over the daily, weekly, and 4 hour, this was a trade that gave me a winning trade. So actually what I saw here was a potential shoulder one here, had shoulder two with a small bullish M within that. So you could see that as a pattern within a pattern. I just saw this as an inversion and shoulders because I wanted to see just here a pattern instead of a limit setting. And that's because also here we went lower to tap this daily zone here, tap this daily structure, first point of structure. So that's why I want to see here a pattern first, because we didn't tap that daily previous structure yet, which we tapped here. So we're clear to go from there. Then on the weekly, what I saw on the weekly was I had there a 3 out of 4. So I had the trend with me. So if I count, I can see we had here a low, high, low, high. We had the first time break here, and then we are making here higher highs, higher lows. So for me, the trend is still bullish. Actually, you can see also the momentum is going to the upside from here. Impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, potential impulse again. We were nicely above or holding this zone as support with three candles already. And you can see this is also a nice clear support region, resistance, 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 support wicks, resistance wicks, resistance wick, resistance wick, support wick. So this is a clear zone where the price could bounce off to again to that weekly highs. So the trend for me is forming with that momentum. Candle close, this was a blue candle, so actually you can count it with you, but for me it was just a doji, so I'm just counting not for us or not against us. Then the fib from this low till this high is working for you, 2 out of 4 then, and the supply and demand zone, this one, which I was going over a few minutes ago, which was this one. So the supply and demand zone 3 out of 4 for that long, which is okay to take. Then I will go to the 4 hour, and what I saw here, or I will want to see, is just a pattern. We had here a shoulder one, had shoulder two, we had a nice break, first time break, so we had an inversion and shoulders with break of structure. I wanted to set my entry on that IC highs here because you don't know where the price will react on this highs or at these lows from that IC, you don't know. So that's why for the safety that I put this entry a little bit to the upside. So this trade played out very nicely to the 4 hour minus 27 and the 2.5% here where I took everything out. That was the trade then. So then the next one, AUDCAD, which was a loss. For me, it was a good trade that gone bad. 1 out of 4 criteria on the weekly. So I will go over the daily, weekly, and 4 hour like this. So on the daily, what I saw here was a hedge trade or an um retrace trade, as you can see, because I draw the fib from this low here till this high with a nice sub completion here. We had that kind of full candle close here, just not tapping it, but for me it was a tap because it's so close against it. So for me this was the daily full candle close, this one. And then I was looking for a 4 hour pattern because we have a daily selling zone also here sitting, which is nicely aligning, that can hold the price, can hold the price for going to the downside till this previous structure here. So if I go over the weekly now, so on the weekly I can see I had a 1 out of 4 because the trend and the rest is against me, because yet here your bullish M still going to the upside. These are the same lows. So actually we can go to a new weekly high, and there we can have a weekly minus 27, something like that. So I saw there that trend that is playing against us. Then the candle close here, this bullish one closing that last week was also against us. The fib from this low till this high is working against us. And then the supply and demand from here acting as support. Resistance, false break, resistance, resistance, sellers here, lining here, closing at that selling zone. So for me, the supply and demand zone was the only thing that is for us for that short. So 1 out of 4 for a hedge trade is good to take. Then I went to the 4 hour, and what I saw, we made a nice deceleration pattern here. I was counting this as the first one, second one, third one is a nice red candle close, which is a must for us for taking a decel, and then I could take my limit for that fourth candle here at the decel box and with that stop loss above this wicks. So then it was here the stop loss, so it didn't play out. So this was a good trade to take actually. Then the last one I took was around the minus 0.8% that closed earlier. And this was GBPAUD. This was a loss on the daily, weekly, and 4 hour. This trade was also an hedge trade or retrace trade. So I took my fib from this high here till this low, and I had here a minus 27 fib completion. We had a nice daily full candle close. So this was nicely to see aligning with a weekly buying zone daily buyer buying zone. I will look at the weekly in a minute because there it will be more clear because now you don't see anything in the history where there were buyers. So yeah, you will see it on the weekly. So we hit a daily full candle close on the daily fib completion. We had a daily buying zone, and then I want to look then for a 4 hour criteria because that is a must for us. So if I go over first to that weekly chart, you can see we had a nice shoulder one, head, shoulder two, impulse, same highs, same lows. Then the correction begun. You can see here the clear impulse, here the clear correction. Then when we tap a shoulder one, we can expect bulls again, potentially. So the candle close is against us. So that candle close is against us, but the fib from this low till this high is working for you. We tapped 61.80, then the supply and demand zone acting here as buyers, 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 buyers potentially again. So a 2 out of 4 for the long and the trend. Yeah, you can say it's question mark because you had here your bearish W, first time break. So some people say bullish. Some people will say, okay, we can still go bearish. So it's a potential bullish indication that we can go further to the upside. So for me, it's a question mark. We have still 2 out of 4 for that long, so okay to take. And if I go to the 4 hour right now, you can see we had a potential deceleration here, 1, 2, 3, 4 that I could take, but I missed it because I was sleeping at 3 a.m. in the night. Yeah, it was around 3 a.m. that this trade was playing out. So then I saw here the shoulder one had shoulder two without the break structure because it's aligning at the same highs, just closing a little bit above. But that's okay to take stop loss below this wicks here, and then it just take me out. So this was a good trade to take actually. So this was my week, 0.7% profits. And then the trade I missed was NZD-CAD on the daily, then the weekly, and then the 4 hour. So why I didn't took this trade was because I wanted to prefer that other trade because I also took here that AUDCAD trade, which was a hedge trade, and NZD-CAD also. So I preferred AUDCAD above NZD-CAD. So on the daily chart, what I saw here was a fib completion from this low till this high here, minus 68 if you completion daily full candle close aligning with the daily selling zone. As you can see, support, resistance week, resistance weeks, nice selling zone, potential sellers again to the potential previous structure here. So That was that thing. So we had the daily full candle close there. And I wanted to see what we had then on the 4 hour, but I will go first on the weekly. And on the weekly, we had only 1 out of 4, which was a supply and demand zone. If I drew my weekly zone here, you could see sellers, nice support wick, sellers wick, sellers wick, support wick, nice sellers, new action here. So that's nice to see. That was after the trade went a loss. So 1 out of 4 because the trend is still bullish yet here your major bullish M still in play, impulse, correction, potential impulse again. So the trend is against us for that short. The candle close also this blue one is also against us. And then the FIP, yeah, from this low to this high can be against you, and from this FIP high to this low can be working for you. So that's why I didn't set anything there. Actually, it's against us, but yeah, that doesn't matter in that way. So we had still at supply and demand zone here, 1 out of 4, which is okay to take for a hedge trade for trace trades. And on the 4 hour, you could see a nice deceleration forming, stop loss below, above the wicks here. And then this trade was running almost to the break-even point, and then it went to the upside for that loss. If we took this trade, it was a loss. So for me, this was my week. I hope you liked it and see you next week. Bye.